Morning, lovelies. Yay, I'm back. I hope that you're all well. I thought I'd quickly hop on here because I wanted to talk about my little trauma response, which took place, when was it? 2 weekends ago now. And it was very interesting, and the reason I want to share it is because I feel it could be useful to you. So, as we all understand, there are opportunities offered to us in life every day for us to just relate to when we need to do more healing. If we're the kind of people who are open to this stuff and who are kind of have this sense of awareness and, we want to continue growing, then we often relate to certain situations and we can recognize if they touched us, if they evoked a certain deep emotion in us, then it brings our awareness to a part of us that still needs healing. And this is what happened to me recently. I'm not going to share all the details of the actual event, which was the memory, because it's quite personal. But basically, I was triggered, the go-to word at the moment. And what the triggering was for me was that Leon and I decided that we needed to do some work in our lounge. Straightforward enough. But I have quite a strong response to people touching my stuff, my possessions. And also I have a really big response to my home environment. And I understand where all this comes from. It comes from obviously the fact that I'm starseed. It comes from a number of events in my life where I've been in a position where I've had to move home, not out of choice, but because I was in a situation where I couldn't stay. And for me, it's a constant healing process to make myself feel safe. And again, all starseeds out there, they understand this feeling of not always being completely safe. And so this experience where Leon and I were decorating our lounge, I left him to move all of the stuff in the lounge because I was working, we were having some damp work done. I was working on the Saturday and it was a really long session, and I came back to the lounge in the evening and everything was a muddle and it was all over the place, and I was like, right, okay, I'm tired, I'm going to shut the door. And then about 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, I woke up in this massive panic, and I went into the lounge and I was surrounded by all of my stuff, which was a muddle. And I just sat and cried, and I got really angry. And my poor husband, I went into the bedroom and I woke him up and I was like, I can't believe that you're not taking care of me right now. And I basically lost my shit. I had a total uncontrollable meltdown. I was crying, I was shaking, I couldn't speak. And I was taken entirely back to a very old childhood memory. And I don't know how old I was, maybe 9 or 10. And this event that took place was around my home and around my toys and my personal possessions. And it was brought up as this memory for me to understand that I hadn't healed that inner child. That memory was still deeply buried, and until I had this trauma response, I'd blocked that memory entirely from my mind. I'd never ever gone back to it. So this is the first time for 40 odd years that I'd actually gone back and allowed myself to experience the memory and be that little girl who felt frightened. And all of the emotions which I hid at the time came up in this 3 o'clock in the morning experience. And it was really painful and really deep. And for several hours, I couldn't speak properly. I was just shaking and it was terrifying. And I'd literally gone back to all of the feelings, sensations that had come from this childhood memory. And I didn't sleep particularly well. And the next day I actually felt okay. But then the day after that, I was not in a good place. And I've struggled with depression really badly twice in my life. And this day I could feel the onset of depression. This absolute darkness just within me, without me. I couldn't think straight. I wanted to give up my work. I was like, oh my God, if this is happening to me and I can't do anything about it, then how can I help other people? All of this self-doubt stuff came up and I felt really terrible, and I had to ring my husband at work and ask him to come home, which is totally unusual for me. And I spent the next 2 days recovering. And I just had to be really gentle with myself. I did a lot of meditation, but I couldn't do journaling. I couldn't find the words. I couldn't really express entirely what had happened. And I've been trying to write about it, and I still haven't been able to actually put it down in writing yet. So I know that I'm still working through it. But the reason I wanted to share this is because I wanted you guys to understand that this is all normal stuff. It's hard and it hurts and it's painful, and you might feel like you're going a little bit mad, because I did. But because I understood what was happening, and I understood that this memory that had come up was a deep underlying trauma that I'd never let go of, and that actually the universe was saying, you are now ready. This trauma needs to come out. It needs to come out because it needs to heal, because the healing is another opportunity to raise your vibration. And also this is an experience for you to go to and understand a way of explaining to others when these events happen, how to take care of themselves, what to do. And my advice around taking care of yourself is simply go with it. I know it's hard, but don't try to put it to bed. Don't try to cover it over. Cry if you need to. Be angry if you need to. Just, allow it to be whatever it is, and allow it to take the amount of time that it needs to in order to heal. And I still feel like I'm processing this, to be honest. But I do feel better. I definitely feel better, and I definitely feel like that needed to happen. Of course it did, otherwise it wouldn't have done. But I also feel like that break was offered to me. My guide said to me, right, get yourself off social media, because there was things that I needed to take care of in my own energy, and things that I needed to experience in order to share that. So that's what I'm doing today, my lovelies. As usual, I'm waiting for a QHHT client. Did an amazing spiritual fair on Sunday. Met up with loads of old clients, and it was just so good to actually hug people and see people and hear about their ongoing journeys. It was amazing. So I'm sending you all lots of love as always. I hope you're well. My posting schedule has gone down a little bit. I'm not doing as much as I was, but I'm still here working. So if this video has resonated, if it's brought up any feelings in you that you want to share, reach out, my darling, and I help as much as I can. Sending you lots of love.